It's time for you to get up, we'll win. It's time for you to reactivate your finances, your health. Are you ready to get your life? Well, this is your moment. Ready to get your life back on track? Get up. What are you doing? It's your time to reactivate.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome. It is Monday night, and you know what that means. It is time to reactivate the moment. I am Marques Ford, and I want to thank each and every one of you for joining in. Thanking each and every one of you for sharing. I need you to do me a favor. I need everybody under the sound of my voice. I need you to like, comment, and share on this video. Like, comment, and share on this video. We want to get the word out, let everybody know what goes down here on the Win Network at 8 p.m. for Reactivate the Monday on Monday nights with your boy, Marques Ford. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video. I need everybody to like, comment, and share on this video. But listen, I want to go ahead and get everything rolling. We got a lot to talk about tonight. And I want to talk about the subject I want to talk about tonight is not only losing yourself, but knowing your self-worth. Knowing your self-worth. A lot of us get caught up sometimes in losing who we are. We get caught up sometimes in not realizing how much we're worth. We don't realize how important we are. We don't realize how important we are not only to ourselves and others, but we don't realize how important we are to the world. So tonight is the night where we're going to get that done. We're going to talk about it. And I want to talk about just this quote. It says this: don't be afraid of losing people. Don't be afraid of losing people. Be afraid of losing yourself by trying not to lose someone else. I'm going to say it again. Do not be afraid of losing others. Don't be afraid of losing people. What we need to do is be afraid of losing ourselves when we're trying not to lose someone else. The thing we get caught up with, people, we get caught up so much in people pleasing. We get caught up so much in trying to please others. We get caught up so much in trying not to say no. We get caught up so much in trying to be yes to everybody, to be there for everyone, to try to be the helping hand that they need, to try to be the shoulder that they need to cry on, to lay on, to try to be that ear, that they need to be a listening ear, to try to be that heart that they need when they feel like they're not loved anymore. But what we have to understand is that it's okay to do that. It's okay. I'm not saying don't be that shoulder. I'm not saying don't be that person to lean on. I'm not saying don't be that one that they call on. But every now and again, it's okay to take a step back and take some time for yourself. Every now and again, it's okay to say, I'm gonna do me this time. I'm gonna please myself this time. I'm gonna take myself out on a date. I'm gonna take myself out to dinner. I'm going to take me a vacation. I may even take a staycation. I may not even leave the state, but it's okay to take the time by yourself, to leave by yourself and be by yourself and just shut off your phone. Don't call anybody. Don't text anybody, and just take some time out for you. Because what we have to do, we have to regroup. We have to recharge, because we have been giving, or you have been giving so much of yourself that you don't even realize that there are pieces of you that you can't get back. Hey, Tina, what's going on, sis? There are pieces of you that we can't get back. There are pieces of ourselves that we can't get back because we've given so much of ourselves to so many people. I've been in that boat so many times. I've always been the type of person that I've always been giving of myself. I've always said, I'll be there for you. I've always been the person that people come to for advice. I've always been the person that people come to when they need a shoulder to cry on, when they need a good laugh. I like to make people laugh. But every now and again, I start to realize, and you start to think, well, who's the person that's helping me? When I'm always helping somebody, when I'm always lending a listening ear, who's helping me? Who can I call on? Who can I turn to? Like Escape said, who can I run to fill an empty space? Sometimes we have empty spaces that we need filling. Sometimes we have empty spaces that we need to be filled. We have voids that we need filled. But every now and again, we end up losing ourselves. We end up losing who we are because we're caught up in trying to be there for everybody else. But it's okay. It's okay to be there. Just don't lose yourself. Always remember and go back to the root. Always remember and go back to who you are. Always remember and go back to what you used to do. Always remember and go back to square one. Every now and again, we have to go back to square one. Just like when an architect is building a building, the first thing he does before he builds a building, he sketches out the design. He sketches out the layout of what it's going to be, how many feet it's going to be, how high it's going to be, and all the other intricate things that are going to go inside of the building. But every now and again, when there's a mishap, every now and again there's a misstep, then you have to go back into what it is that the blueprint. There it is. Well, you have to go back into the blueprint. You have to go back into what it is that the design in the first place. Just like if you're putting something together, they have specific instructions that you must follow. You must follow these specific instructions in order for the outcome to be great, in order for what you're putting together to be how it's supposed to be. And every now and again, you may miss a screw here, or you may miss something that's supposed to go there, and you go back into the instructions to see what steps you missed, to see what caused you to miss that step. And it's just like life. Every now and again, life throws us some things. Life throws us some circumstances. Life throws us some controversy. Life throws us some things our way that we're not able to handle. And every now and again, we have to take a step back and take a look at the scenery, take a look at what we're dealing with, take a look at what we're going through, and understand what it is that caused us to get to this place in the first place, what it is that caused us to get to where we are in the first place. But we have to realize, we have to understand that it's okay as long as you don't lose yourself. Because one of the hardest things to do is for you to try to find yourself after you've lost yourself. One of the hardest things to do in life is to try to get back who you were because you've lost so much of yourself. You ever notice people say, man, you've changed? You ever notice that people say, man, you acting different? You ever notice that people saying, man, you acting funny? Man, it seems like you're not the same person that I once knew. You're not the same person that I once saw. You're not the same person that used to have a smile on your face. Now you're walking around mean. You used to be so kind and gentle and kind-hearted. Now you're walking around being prideful and you're being stone cold. You used to be the one I can call on, but now when I call, it seems like you don't answer my phone. You used to be the one that I can send a text to and you reply right back, but it seems like you keep leaving me on red, or it seems like you're not responding. And people are noticing that you've lost yourself in your way. You've lost yourself along your journey. You've lost yourself in trying to find out why it is that you're lost in the first place, because you haven't realized this, but you have been pulled on so many times. You have been pulled away so many times that people have caused themselves to detach. I mean, they've caused you to detach from who you are. You've detached from yourself. What's up, Nicole Macy? You've detached from yourself because you've been dependent. People have been depending on you so much. People have been dependent on your word. They have been dependent on your love. They've been dependent on your hugs. They've been dependent on everything that you've given them, that they have been secretly taking pieces of you. And guess what? You haven't even had the time to replenish yourself because you've been lost. You've been trying to find your way back home. You've been trying to find your way back to where you once loved. You've been trying to find your way back to your comfort place. You've been trying to find your way back to your way back to what you once had. And what we have to understand and what we have to realize is that when we're trying to find our way back on our journey back to ourselves, we end up getting pieces of ourselves. We end up getting pieces of ourselves back to where we once were. And so it causes us to take a step back because we don't want to, because we're afraid. We're so afraid, of not only losing ourselves, we're so afraid of the fact that people won't like us once we've changed. You ever thought about those times where you've been so pleasing to people that the reason why that you keep pleasing people, the reason why that you keep saying yes, the reason why that you keep coming every time they call, the reason why that you keep running after them every time they have a need? You ever realize that you've been pleasing people so long that you're afraid that if you don't continue to please them, that you'll lose them? You ever been afraid of losing someone? You ever been afraid of losing a friend? You ever been afraid of losing the relationship of that friend, or the relationship of that loved one, or the relationship of your spouse or your significant other? You ever been afraid of that? And it causes you to just keep saying yes, to keep saying, okay, I'll do it, to keep saying, okay, I feel you, I've been there, to keep saying, okay, yeah, I won't tell you no, okay, I do it just to appease them, just to make sure that they're okay. But at the same time, while you're making sure they're okay, it seems like you're not okay. It seems like that on the surface, you're good. Like Eminem had a song called "Lose Yourself." It says on the surface he looks calm and ready, but deep down he keeps on forgetting the words that he wrote down. You keep forgetting yourself, because you lose yourself in the moment. The song said, lose yourself in the moment. Don't ever let it go. And what we end up doing is we lose ourselves in the moment because we forget who we are deep down inside. We've lost the confidence that we once had. We've lost the loving, kind-heartedness that we once had. We lost our virtue that we once had. We lost our mindset that we once had. We lost the vigor, the tenacity that we once had, because we're so caught up in making sure everything and everybody else is okay that we forget about our own happiness. We forget about what makes us happy. We forget about what makes us smile. And so we end up getting into this rut. We end up getting by ourselves. We end up getting into our little secret closet, into our secret spaces, crying and pouting and moaning and groaning, because we have lost the love that we once had for our own selves. So then what it ends up doing, we don't even realize this, but what it ends up doing is it ends up causing us to, the same love that we lost, the same love that we tried to get, it ends up causing us to damage other relationships. You ever wonder why you can't find a boyfriend or a girlfriend? You ever wonder why you're not married yet? You ever wonder why certain friendships haven't lasted? Because we want to blame others. We want to blame, it's because of society. It's because the ratio. Because I can't find a decent person. I can't find somebody to fit me. No. It's because what you've done, you've lost yourself, and because you've lost yourself, you lost the love for yourself. So how in the world can you love or care about somebody else when you can't even care about who you are? You can't even love who you are anymore. You can't even figure out why it is that you can't have a relationship with anybody, whether whatever your preference may be, whatever it is that you like. You can't figure out why it is that you can't establish and hold on and keep a relationship. Is because the love that you tried to give to them, you can't give to them because you have nothing. And I don't know about you, but my equation says that this: nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So if you have nothing, how can you give anything to anybody? If you don't have the love, how can you give the love? If you don't have the care, how can you give the care? If you don't have the peace, how can you give the peace to someone else? Because what we're doing, we're losing ourselves by trying to please everyone, and we're afraid that if we lose them, then we won't get them anymore. But I come to remind you and let you know that even though you may lose someone else, there's somebody else on the way. You may lose a friend, but guess what? There's another friend just waiting waiting for you to just call them back. Even though you may lose a significant other, there's another bus coming right down, and you can hop right on that bus and keep it rolling. So what I'm here to do is build the confidence back in you, to remind you and let you know that no matter what you deal with, no matter what you go through, no matter how many people you lose, no matter how many people walk away from you, no matter how many people turn their back on you, I'm here to let you know that there's always a place that you can go, and it's back to yourself. Come back home. Come back to who you once were. Come back to that mindset that you once had. Come back to the love that you once shared. Come back to the kindness that you once had. Come back and to that smile again. You know, my daughter, she like to tell me, Daddy, are you mad at me? I said, no, babe, I'm not mad at you. Well, can you turn your frown into a smile? Can you smile for me? And every now and again, it brings joy to my heart, because what we have to realize is that people are watching us, and what they're doing, not only are they watching you, but they're trying to figure out your every move. So what you have to do, you have to put on a smile and keep it pushing. But deep down inside, we're hurting. Deep down inside, we have pain. Deep down down inside with suffering. But I'm here to remind you and let you know that you do not have to be afraid. You do not have to be afraid of losing anybody, because what you're going to do, you're going to gain more once you get rid of them. You're going to gain more once they walk away from you. You're going to gain more once you figure out why it is that they left you. And I'm going to talk more about that after this commercial break.
Hey, it's your girl, A Love. Make sure you follow me and Pastor PG, LaShonda Robinson, on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Girl Let's Talk. And let me tell you, it's not your typical church conversation. Make sure you join us on the WIN Network.
You see, once we have to understand that certain people, and shameless plug, go ahead and join my sister on Tuesdays for Girl Let's Talk. I'm sorry, I had to talk about that commercial. I'm proud of you, sis. But listen, what we have to understand is that when we get rid of certain people, it is for a purpose. Just because you lost them, just because they ran away, just because they turned their backs on you, just because they may not be there for you anymore, we have to understand. We have to understand that one thing clear, that because you lost them, guess what? You're going to gain more, because you're going to get everything back that they took from you. Not saying that they took something from you to be malicious. I'm not saying that they tried to take something from you out of hurt to hurt you, but you didn't realize you were giving away certain pieces of you. But what we have to understand is that certain people, here it is. I'm about to bless somebody real quick. I need you to catch what I'm about to throw. I need you to get your glove and get your mitt and catch what I'm about to throw. What you have to understand is that sometimes you have to outgrow people that aren't meant to grow with you. Say it again. I need somebody to put this in the comment section for me. You have to outgrow people that aren't meant to grow with you. One more time, because some of y'all didn't catch it. I feel it in my spirit. You didn't catch it. You are going to outgrow people that aren't meant to grow with you. You see, what we have to realize that as we become more mature, we're becoming adults now. We go through different stages in our life. We go through the infancy stage where we're dependent on our parents. We're dependent on our mothers for food and everything, and our parents for shelter. Then we go from the infancy stage. We go through the toddler stage where we're growing up a little bit. We're not so dependent on them. We're starting to learn a little independence. We're starting to learn certain things about us. We're starting to learn certain things about ourselves. And once we get out of the toddler stage, and here we are, we're coming into our own, and we're starting school. We're going to preschool and kindergarten and things of that nature. And we start to find little things that we like. We start to find little things that that we're happy about. And then we skip that stage and we fast forward a little bit to the middle school stage. Now we're going to the pre-adolescent and the adolescent stage where we're really getting our own identity. We're that's right, Robin, #growth. We're really getting our own identity. We're really finding out certain things about us. We're starting to find out what crowd we kind of fit in. We're starting to see whether we kind of cool or if we kind of lame. We're starting to see if we're becoming a jock or we're becoming a nerd. We start to get those things. And when we get to high school, then we start to explore certain things. We start to explore certain things about our body and about our mind. And now we go from high school to college and to adulthood. Now we figure out, now you notice that certain people that were with you along this journey, here it is, I'm about to bless you. Certain people that were with you along this journey, did you notice and realize that as you got older, they began to fall off? Mm-hmm. Did you realize that as you got older, you didn't hear from them anymore like you used to? Did you realize that as you matriculated onto your education, you lost touch, and then all of a sudden, a lot of y'all have used Facebook to your advantage, and that's cool. But if you look and think back on your life, you begin to say to yourself, I noticed that certain people aren't with me that were with me at the beginning. I noticed that certain people aren't beside me, because you had to outgrow them. Why did you have to outgrow them? Because they weren't meant to grow with you to where you're going. They aren't meant to go with you where you're trying to go. They aren't meant to go with you where God is taking you. So in other words, you had to outgrow certain things. I'll put it to you another way. I love to use analogies. I'll put it to you like this. Have you ever looked in the garden? Have you ever been in a garden, or even have you ever tried to grow any fruit, or even try to grow any vegetables, things like that? If you notice, everything does not grow at the same time. Here it is. If you notice, certain vegetables become more ripe than the others because they started their growth early. If you notice, certain flowers bloom at certain times of the year. If you notice, certain flowers bloom before others because they receive what they had to gain in order to reach reached their peak. They received what they had to gain in order to be ripe. They received what they had to get. They received the nourishment, the sunlight, the water, and the soil that they need in order to bloom. And so what I'm here to remind you and to give you reassurance is that just because they came in with you, just because they were put into the ground with you, just because the seed was planted at the same time, it does not necessarily mean that they're going to grow with you at the same time. Some people are going to fall off. If you think of an apple tree, some apples from the apple tree, they're going to fall off when they're ready to go. Some apples from the apple tree, they're going to fall off. Some oranges are going to fall off. Certain flowers are going to bloom and some aren't. So what I'm here to remind you and let you know that just because you grew with them, just because they came out of the ground with you, just because they came out of the mud, as they like to say, just because they came out of the dirt with you, it does not necessarily mean that they're going to get the same prosperity that you get. It does not necessarily mean that they're going to get the same nourishment that you get. It does not necessarily mean that they're going to get the same nutrients that you get. In other words, you are going to outgrow them. And just because you outgrow them, it doesn't necessarily mean that just because they started out with you, that does not necessarily mean that they're going to grow with you. So in other words, we have to understand that we should not be afraid of losing other people. We should not be afraid. You see, you thought I missed my first point, but I didn't. We should not be afraid of losing others. We should not be afraid of losing friends. We should not be afraid of losing relationships. We should not be afraid of losing significant others, because what we have to understand that every time we lose something, we're outgrowing who it is that they are. So you're not necessarily losing them, you're just outgrowing them. And when you become full bloom, when you become a full bloom flower, when you become a full ripe vegetable, a full ripe fruit, then guess what? Then that's when you're going to get picked at the right time. In other words, that's when things are going to happen for you in the matter that you didn't even realize. You didn't even know that you were stuck on a tree. You didn't even know that you were stuck in a rose bush. You didn't even know that you were stuck on a vine, because you've been there so long that you've been pleasing people so long that you didn't realize that your time is going to come. A time is going to come for you to be blessed. A time is going to come for you to reach prosperity. A time is going to come for you to reach the peak that you need to be. And what's going to happen is you're going to outgrow them. And guess what? They're going to be jealous because you began to shine before they did. They're going to look back and say, wait a minute, I know the struggle that person went through, Bobby. They're going to think about you, my man, my big brother, Bobby. They're going to say, man, Bobby, I know the struggle you went through. I know you had to go through a brain, get something, tumor removed from your brain, but look at you now, flossing like you've never been before. Look at you now, living like you've never lived before. They're going to look at you and see certain things. I know that they lost their loved one. I know that they lost the son. I know that they lost their mother, their father. I know that they lost their job, but why is it that they're smiling? Why is it that they're still pushing? Why is it that they're still going? It's because you outgrew them, and they thought that they were taking stuff from you, but you were just simply outgrowing them in the first place. I know who I'm talking to tonight. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I'm here to remind you that it's time for you to outgrow certain people. It's time for you to outgrow certain people. It's time for you to get rid of those people. It's time for you to get rid of those people that are around you. I need for somebody tonight, once you get off of this live, I need you to go back into your phone, go back into your friends list, and take an inventory of the people. And I promise you, once you leave this live tonight, you're going to realize, wait a minute, so that person I thought I was giving advice to, they were using that same advice and sabotaging me. So you're going to realize certain things. You're going to realize that they were moving a little funny. You're going to realize that they were moving a little different, and it's going to cause you it's going to cause you not only block them, it's going to cause you to not only remove them, but it's going to cause you say, you know what, let me plant another seed so they can see how much I'm growing. Because guess what, here it is. Guess what, they think that because I fell off, they think that things aren't happening. They think that things aren't going to happen. But what I like about it, we have a rose bush outside our house by my front door, and when we first got this house, the rose would bloom. Oh my God, the rose was so extremely beautiful that we could not cut that rose bush down. All the other bushes and weeds we got rid of, but there's this one rose bush that we can't cut down. And what we notice is after a certain season, and here it is, I'm trying to teach you, after certain seasons in life happens, the petals begin to fall off. You know, some roses don't bloom in the winter. Some roses don't bloom can't bloom when it snows. So the petals have to fall off. And just like us, what happens with us is we get on this high horse and we start to do things. Things are going good. Things are going great. Then all of a sudden life happens and we begin to feel defeated. We begin to feel like we can't make it. We begin to feel like that things are going to happen. So in other words, our petals, our rose petals, our whatever flower you like, you can use it for your own discretion. I'm using roses for right now. Our rose petals fall off, and we don't look like we don't look as good as we used to look. We don't look, we don't feel as good as we used to feel. We don't even act as good as we used to act. And so we get into this depression stage, and what happens is people start laughing at you. Like, I knew it was going to be a time when they were going to fall off. I knew there was going to be a time when they were going to meet their demise. I knew that they weren't going to open that business. I knew that they weren't going to get that job. I knew they weren't going to close on that house. I knew that relationship wasn't going to last. Let me go in and swoop in and get that girl and get that man that they lost. I knew that they weren't going to get the money that they once had. But then what happens is as they've been plotting on you to fail, as they've been plotting on you to meet your demise, what happens? What we got to notice is the bud does not fall off, but the petals do. Here it is. The bud does not fall off. The rosebud does not fall off, but some of the petals do. But what happens is after the season of our demise, after the season of you losing everything you had, after the season of you not getting the goal that you prayed for, after the season of you not getting that job, after the season of you not getting that promotion, all of a sudden a new season coming. Guess what? You start to feel again. You start to feel a little rejuvenation in your body. You start to feel your mind and ideas starting to flow. You start to write down certain things because you want to accomplish and achieve certain goals. And then what happens is that bud that was there, that bud that you can call, you can put your name in that spot, I don't care, but you're that bud that was there. What happens is that bud begins to produce petals. And what happens with the petals is this: the petals from that bud begin to open up, and then you start to bloom again. And people look, wait a minute, I could have sworn that they lost their job. I could have sworn that they were crying last week. I could have sworn that I seen them lose it. I could have sworn that I seen them fail. I saw them fail with my own two eyes. Matter of fact, I even plotted against them. I could have sworn, but what they didn't realize was that just because the petals fell, you didn't fall off. So I need to remind somebody tonight that people are going to expect the outside parts of you to fall off. They're going to expect you to go crazy. They're going to expect you to lose your mind. They're going to expect you to lose relationships. They're going to expect you to lose the things that don't define you. There it is. People think that those things define you. They think the car defines you. They think the money defines you. They think the job defines you. They think your status defines you, but that's not what defines you. What defines you is who you are on the inside. And what defines you is whether or not you're going to be good on the inside, whether or not you're going to sit here and you're going to wait patiently for your blessing to come. And I'm here to remind you tonight that whatever it is that people tried to take from you, whatever rose petal that they tried to take from you, whatever idea that they tried to take from you, guess what? You're going to get it all back as long as you stay true to who you are. In other words, I'm going to bring it back to my first point. Don't be afraid of losing somebody else. You need to be afraid of losing yourself by trying not to lose the other people that were around you. So in other words, don't worry about them leaving. You stay true to who you are. You stay true to who you are. You stay true to what and who you've been this whole time. Stay true. It's my pop just said, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, because guess what? You're still true to who you are. They may hate on you. They may lie on you. They may write a post about you. They may do a reel about you. They may do TikToks about you. They may send subliminal messages about you. They may even text you and message you tonight. But guess what? Stay true to who you are. You don't have to clap back, because guess what? Your comeback is going to be greater than that clap back. Get it, God Almighty. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I need for somebody to put in the comment section right at this point and say, my clap back is going to be greater than my comeback is going to be greater than any clap back I can ever make. My comeback is going to be greater than any clap back that I could ever make. Because guess what happens when I come back? Here you go. Guess what happens when I come back? I'm going to come back better than I was when I lost everything I had. I'm going to come back better and brighter, and I'm going to come back more powerful than I once was. Why? Because I'm not concerned about you anymore. I'm not concerned about losing you. I'm not concerned about you walking away from me. I'm not concerned about you turning your back on me. I'm not concerned about you talking about me. I'm not concerned about you not calling me no more. I'm not concerned about you deleting me from your friends. That's because as long as I'm true to myself, as long as I'm true to who I am, as long as I'm true to what God called me and who God called me to be, that I don't have to worry about what another person thinking, because guess what? I'm going to be better than I was before you even got in my life. Here we go. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be greater. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be smarter, because guess what? I don't need you, because I got me. At the end of the day, as long as you have you, as long as they say in the hood, as long as you stand 10 toes down, there's nothing that anybody can do for you. Why? Because you've already lost them. And once you've lost them, then guess what? You realize that you outgrew them. And once you realize you outgrew them, then guess what? Then you'll know that your blessing is coming. And once you realize your blessing is coming, guess what? There's nothing that anybody can do to deter you from it. I'm here to remind you tonight that you're more than enough. That's right. Thank you, baby. My wife just said it plainly. I am who I am, and who I am is enough. You are more than enough. You don't need them, and you don't need it. All you need is you. Put that in the comment section. Repeat after me. I don't need them. I don't need it. All I need is me. All I need is me. That's all I have. That's all I have. I don't need nobody else. I don't need anything else. As long as I have me, guess what? I have everything I need. So I need somebody to be reminded tonight, and I need you to do me a favor. Make sure you tell the next person. Make sure you tell that person that's been talking about you. Matter of fact, you can put that as your post tonight. Once we get off and say, I don't need you and I don't need it. All I need is me. And make sure you tag me in it. If anybody got something to say, they can come see me. So I'm going to say it again. I don't need you. I don't need it. All I need is me. And as long as you have you, guess what? Nobody can do anything to deter you from who you're supposed to be. Listen, that is my time tonight. I appreciate you guys. I wish I can go more. That is my time tonight. I appreciate you guys for joining in. I need everybody to do me a favor real quick. If you haven't done so already, I need you to comment. You're commenting already, and I love it. I need you to share this post, share this video, and I need you to go ahead and like it, share it, and comment under it. You're doing all the above. I appreciate you. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. You can follow me here on Facebook at Reactivate the Moment. Also follow me, Marques Ford. You can follow me on Instagram at mford23 on Instagram, and follow my Reactivate page at Reactivate the Moment. Also follow me on Twitter at _Reactivate. And also, please do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Reactivate the Moment at YouTube. Please do me a favor. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope this word blessed you just the way it blessed me. Don't forget to reactivate your life, reactivate the moment, and make sure you make every moment count. And once you make every moment count, there's nothing that anybody can do with you or do about it. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I will see you next week, same time, same channel, right here, 8 p.m. on the Win Network next Monday. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to see you. Be blessed. Have a great night.